Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Inglewood, California, how you doing today? Inglewood, 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 California, how you doing today? It's been one of those days, one of these weeks, one of these months, and there's so many new things going around in the cannabis world and in the world itself. But for the last couple of days, we've been dealing with the CDR and trying to figure out how they're going to do these licensing. right now, they got some new provisions that they put together.
Hello?
Oh,
We're not talking to you yet, Cheryl. Miss Branch, how you doing?
Hi, it is the Green Believer. What are you talking about? I'm the first Green Believer.
I go for that all the way. Matter of fact, you can start this show off today since you're here. I just walked in
What
the
are you
door.
talking about? You got it sound like we had a funeral. Brothers and sisters, we just want to get all y'all together, be concerned.
Be concerned.
Shit is popping, y'all. I don't know what you talking about, boy.
I didn't really
What's
know
up, my people?
we don't know what's going on, but we not too concerned about what other people is concerned about. We ready to put this show on the road, Cheryl. So the Green Believers is getting ready to put on the show, and we getting ready to show the rest of the world what you do while you lock down. You do your homework, and you put everybody on the same page, and you get ready to attack the world as soon as the doors is open. So there's no days off for us. And I know you've been working hard, and my team been working hard, and we are ready to do the necessary things to make our world better. And since our we industry is waking up, finding out that they can go to work now, I know everybody is overwhelmed, and now they want to really know is they got the investors behind them, so they can go forward. And I know that you yourself and your team got technical assistance licenses, and you're gonna help a whole lot of them get past some more doors.
amen.
So
Well, the first thing that we've done, we should, first of all, just glad to be back week to week. TheGreenBelievers.com. Don't forget to hit us, like us. We have to celebrate. The task was to unite, grow, and celebrate. The fact that the Department of Cannabis regulations completely overhauled the past 2 days this week, the program is really it is a demonstration of the people sticking together to get the message out there. Because we were a scandal all across the country, and it's not a perfect system. I think our guests today, we have two awesome individuals, Rhonda Dixon, part of our group, and also Dejanay, the Green Goddess.
Hey, Cheryl.
And
Hi, Cheryl.
hi, and we got Addiction Justice Center. But we did our thing. It was not easy. This is where, like I said, you guys can tell the stories, Rhonda, all the scandals we had going. But yesterday was like the culmination of the hard work, and that the DCR submitted 5 revisions to the ordinance and other regulations. Over 500 sheets of paper, close to 1,000
Yes.
of notes. So this is where the legal eagles and the jailhouse lawyers can get in pocket, because Rhonda gonna try to break it down for us, but this is for the legal. So we did that. So I think that's awesome.
Yes.
And now the social equity candidates, albeit it's not perfect, but it's just like the rest of humanity. It ain't perfect.
Well, first of all, I have to congratulate you, Cheryl, because you really led the charge, and you're kind of our fearless leader at the Green Believers, and you stuck with it, and we were able to effectively change a lot of things that we have been working on for a long time, which we hope and we know will help social equity applicants to level the playing field for them. Some of the major things that we had been advocating for was that you don't have to have a location now, because that's been a real problem for the social equity applicants, which by definition have to be low income, have to be in areas have to be disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs, and have to be in areas of the city that are below the poverty line. And so how can you then pay massive amounts of money for leases or real estate in Los Angeles? So that caused a lot of predatory problems, because then the investors come in, and of course the investors do not look like us. They are not concerned with what we're concerned with, about benefiting the community as well as generational wealth, and helping us to finally get some racial equity and some social justice and all that good stuff. That's what social equity was supposed to be about. It's kind of conflating social justice and racial equity, and that's what we didn't have, and that's what we're trying to do. It's kind of a form of reparations in a way, but we don't want to confine ourselves to just weed being the reparations for black people, since the Indians got the gambling, and we don't want to be the ones that just get the weed. So, I mean, we'll take whatever we can get now, but we do want to expand that across the board so that it actually benefits the greatest good for the greatest number. So that was a major coup, and I think that, we all led the charge on that. Also changing the definition of the equity share.
Being able to change your address. Wasn't that a great idea?
Major issue.
Oh, my God.
Because that's how people are tying people into these contracts. If the investor owns the property, and then the property, if the license runs with that property, then you're kind of shackled to that agreement. So now that we can change locations, that's a major, also a major benefit. Also, being able to revise the shareholder agreements, whatever the operating agreement.
Yes,
shareholder
that was
agreement is.
another one we fought for.
Yes.
And you would think these are the basics, right?
You would think so, but the problem is that a lot of times the people that were instrumental in being in the agency, a lot of times they don't actually have boots on the ground experience. Basically they don't have that combination of street sense and book sense.
Well,
they might have the book sense, but they don't have the street knowledge. And so we brought in both of those things and basically recognized what game was played. And, we had to make sure that we had a seat at the table and that it was a equitable and fair level playing field. And I think that they were well-intentioned, though, but they just didn't have that necessary experience to kind of see some of these things coming. So some of them we warned them about, but they still put it in place in a certain way. And now that they see.
I don't think none of us, I'll put myself out there first. Let me speak for myself. I still didn't know, even up till January this year, we still didn't know what we didn't know about licensing for Phase 3. Because the stories and the examples of predatory incidents was so convoluted with so much other scandal and wars and rumors of war, right?
Well, I have to say that as a lawyer, I could see it coming.
Because
I used to do entertainment law for a long time, and the most inequitable contracts that I've ever seen are recording agreements. And so you could almost always figure out that when there's a lot of money at stake and there's certain people, they're always going to take advantage of little man. It's like we talked about big bank takes little bank, and that's always going to happen. Greed is always going to dictate an inequitable situation. So the job of the Department of Cannabis Regulation and our job was to try to level the playing field, because we already knew it was going to be inequitable, so. And you're right. Some of this we found out through experience, but like, for instance, having the property, that was a problem. We knew that from the beginning. If you had to have the property, because that was tying people up with people they might not have wanted to be involved with, but because they were desperate. And there were some people that actually got a license in the second phase, but couldn't find a property. So that was another issue.
Right. Well, all the 100. And it may get up to 250 in the numbers, because they are implementing some of the vetting steps to weed people in and out. So This is where emerging populations and how we begin to diversify, is going to come in, because they're going to pick up, they're going to go up, I think, that high to get to that first 100. So it's just been an amazing process.
It has. It's been an eye-opener, and I've gotten calls from other jurisdictions.
Scandal.
Yes.
The councilman went to jail. I mean, DCR, I have to give Kat, she did her job. I mean, she navigated her way through all that.
Well, we should have the Weed Chronicles. It should be like a soap opera about the weed business in L.A.,
Oh, shit.
Talk about it now. There you go, Rhonda. The Weed Chronicles. We've been trying to get. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We got some things coming in the mix. I think Whitey got some secrets, so it's gonna all come together.
I don't know nothing at all But listen to this.
Oh, y'all
so we,
working out
so we,
there?
I'm not working no more. I retired, but I'm on Cheryl's team. And I'm just trying to bring the knowledge that I have to the table. And right now, we find ourselves able to relocate a whole lot of stores and put some many new peoples in play that wasn't in play. So the people who've been dominating the field, they really balanced it. And once a field get balanced, all the social equity people can go and have a better opportunity to be successful. Because when you find yourself looking over your shoulder and you're not in control of your own destiny, you're just working for nothing. You're working for nobody. And your family is looking at you saying, we thought this was for our future. And our future have changed so much overnight where we back on the cold ground trying to ask why. So whatever Cat did, I'm appreciative of it. And I hope, and I only hope, that you can find a way to give them the technical assistance that they need so they can get over that hurdle.
Yes.
Because this is our job now, and they put us in a good position to help the people. But I would say this, and I mean this, I never once thought that a person was supposed to surrender anything over to an investor. And I say it now, and I say it again, and I repeat it. Because when someone is on our team, we try to hope and pray that they can get their own team together and invest in themselves and let somebody who don't look like us come and dominate them and take what they have. So, Cheryl, this is the way I look at life. And I say it all the time. I don't have no fight in this game, but I have a whole lot of love for the people who in this game. And if they can just come by and have a seat with us, we will take them down that road and that path that they need to learn so much about the weed industry to be successful. Just because you got a license don't mean that you know what you're getting ready to do.
Right.
Because these hurdles is so big and so great for you to go through. And come on down and let us give you the assistance that you guys need.
Well, people assume that it's going to be
Well, tell
successful
them to
because
call
it's
first,
weed.
because things is a little different in the COVID. Call first before you come on down.
Yeah.
Hit us up on
don't just
Instagram.
don't just bum rush. Huh?
Just a little slight disclaimer. Just a little slight.
Well, one thing
I'm sorry.
but
Go ahead, Rhonda.
one thing
with
that
DJ.
Whitey was talking about was that you can't just assume that because it's the weed business that it's going to be successful, that it's going to sell itself, because a business needs to be run properly, and that's what we help to do, from the legal portion of it to the accounting to just leadership skills, business skills, all that. There's a whole package of things that make people successful, and it's not just, oh, I got this license, because that's just the beginning. Like I used to tell people when they got a record deal, basically that's the beginning. Yeah. You got on base so you can bat. Now you got to make a home run. And you got to keep it. As hard as it is to get that deal, it's even harder to keep it.
Yes,
and that's the same thing with this business. As hard as it is to get the business, it's going to be even more difficult to keep it and make it successful.
Yeah. Hi, it's Dejanay here. And I think Whitey made a really great point when he said that, you're going to need support. And I think that when a lot of people come into this, they don't have a team or anyone around them to guide them through. And investors, people that have vested interest in things that are not in alignment with what you are striving to accomplish, will tell you that you can't do it because you've never done it. And you want to be around people that say you can do it, although you've never done it. And this is what it looks like. This is what it takes. This is the trajectory that you need to be on in order to be successful. And it's not, we're going to line your pockets and then you're going to be good. You're the reinvestment. No, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan of action. You have to have a business plan. You have to know how you're going to present yourself. You need to build yourself as a business. You have to operate as a business. And I don't think a lot of people that are prospective social equity applicants have that in mind. I know I didn't. And I've seen every social equity group that there is out there in LA. Everyone, anyone that you name, I have been in a room with them. I've heard everything they had to say, and I'm sitting here with Green Believers for a reason. So it's really, really important that you are vetting the people that say that they are investing in you, that they want to see you do well, and that you know what that looks like in action. And just to make your point about Kat, I think that she's been super transparent and very intentional, but the execution has to match that. So it's really coming down to execution and what that'll look like moving forward. I know I've stepped back from the whole social equity conversation. I was burned.
Oh, okay.
I got one of them contracts and was like, nope, I'm going to sit this one out. So it's really great to hear about all of the headway that you guys have made, and I couldn't be more proud, and I'm so excited to be back at the table. And
We happy to have you back.
yeah.
Yes.
You know, the great thing
Well,
about
you're
this,
part of the reason we did it, Dejanay. That's what I said. I didn't know what we didn't know as we were forming the incubator, the accelerator. Like, once you started sharing in others, it gave us what we needed to then craft it into policy language and recommendations, and to alert Kat and the council that something's not right here. You know, you don't have enough teeth in here, and we need to find ways to protect. And so, you know, I just want to thank you for trusting us, you know, and staying the course with us to get that message out. And we just got a question in, so if you guys don't mind, I'd like to ask this question. This comes from one of our other partners, Cherie Franklin. What are your thoughts to today's guest? What are your thoughts on how we continue to ensure accountability and any additional improvements? What are your thoughts about how do we continue to ensure accountability and additional improvements to the social equity program? Now that we've gotten these few little steps, you know, are there any things you think we should, you know, stay on the course for with DCR? Either one of you on that one.
Well, I can answer that. I'll be one of the people to answer it. This is Rhonda Dixon. I think that it's going to be a continuous process of vigilance. I think that we have the Cannabis Oversight Committee, and we have our coalition, and then we have, you know, we just have to constantly stay in contact with them and do as we have been doing, because it's always going to be a matter of steering the course, you know. Things are going to happen, like they're going to apply these new things, and maybe there's going to be some hiccups in that too. So we always have to stay vigilant on and see, you know, we, like Cheryl said, we don't know what we don't know, so we just have to stay open-minded and continue to keep the lines of communication open. I think the fact that we got the technical assistance contract is really great. We can continue to work with the social equity applicants, and then give the feedback back to the DCR too if we find things that aren't working out the way we think they should for them.
yeah, but the great thing about it, Cheryl, once you go through a door, you find yourself learning a little bit, but then you're gonna go back and look at your past failures and the past failures of other people, and you're gonna apply it in a different manner now. Because once you see somebody do something wrong, you're going to see it. And then it's your job to bring it to them and say, nah, we did that last time, and we're not going to let you do it this time. So we are basically here to protect the people. And once you protect the people with the knowledge that you done received from the past, you are better equipped to deal with whatever going down. So the new phase getting ready to come through, and it's a lottery. So we're going to have to put our team in place and make sure they understand that it's not first come, it's not first served. It's a lottery, just like you buy a lottery ticket, and you may not be the person get hit.
Yes.
And if this don't happen for you,
We're going to do a merit base. We're not doing lottery.
No, they're doing a lottery. That's what I
beg
was
your
going to
pardon,
mention. He
Cheryl.
brought it up.
I
that
beg your pardon, Cheryl.
They did say lottery,
Listen to
and
what
that
I
is
tell
a
you
concern.
sometime. Listen to
Whitey
what I
is
tell you
correct.
sometime.
That is a concern,
Yeah.
because that's what actually I was going to bring up, was
Right
that
here.
when Cherie said that, after I said something, I thought about it. Lottery is going to be the issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
We really were fighting for a merit-based application, because we feel like the proper people will be considered and the work that they put in will be rewarded. But under a lottery system, once again, we're choosing, luck and just circumstance, as opposed to making sure that they have the best community benefit plan, that, because really what we should be fighting for is the greatest good for the greatest number, not just putting one person in business, but putting an economic system in business, like that helps everybody, in the community, that benefits the community.
So, sis, when you send me paperwork for me to go over, you sending me paperwork as I'm a lawyer, and you're making me dissect certain things that a whole lot of other people don't understand and can't see because they overlook it because their whole mind is already set on something else. But anytime you send me something, I act like I don't pay it attention, but I pay it real close attention, and I make it my business to cover your ass because you cover mine. And we understand what a lottery is, and it's going to come to a point where there's going to be a whole lot of cry wolves. But at the end of the day, Cheryl, the only thing we could do is try to put our team together and put the best product on the table for everybody to have an opportunity to get a ticket. So this is our life.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that, and we're gonna have to pay Caesar. We're gonna have to pay Caesar his gold. So don't forget to send your coins and donations.
Well, Long Beach
because
did
the
a
game
lottery.
is real. The game is real. Don't sleep, y'all.
Nobody was happy with the, if we want to look at, just like Whitey said, we can learn from past, I wouldn't say mistakes, it's a learning experience. We can learn from past experiences what worked and what did not work. And Long Beach did a lottery, and nobody really was happy with the outcome from that lottery. And so I think people were a little more happy with what happened in West Hollywood. Cherie Franklin actually benefited from that, and I feel like she's the one that asked the question, and I think really it is leaning towards the lottery. We didn't really want the lottery, and that was one thing that we need to still fight with them about, I believe.
So that's the whole point.
Priority ranking was actually even better. What was it last time? It wasn't priority. It was first come, first serve.
That was the
and
worst.
And then now we're doing. So I guess they just want us to try everything before we get to merit. They want to give it all a little whirl. Okay, so maybe. I see.
In West Hollywood, they did a point-based system, right?
It was merit-based.
Okay,
and that's what we're talking about, is following their system. That's what we're talking about.
Even those applications were very lax.
No, they were pretty detailed.
No, I mean, I've seen them, and they're very long. And I've seen the highest ranked one. And it was detailed, but it didn't have enough color in it. So for these, it would be very interesting to see, and I think that goes back to that whole how is this reinvesting into the community. It needs to be merit-based. This is kind of scary because we all know lotteries are a little
It's gonna.
Is it gonna be Is it gonna be by is everyone gonna get to see them pick numbers out of a lottery bin? Like, how transparent is it gonna be? Because that's
another thing. We don't know how they're gonna conduct the lottery.
That's what we're gonna have to push back on next. That's our very next response, which is why we're having this talk today. Because of that, we want to know how do we create as much balance as we can if it's a final decision that they're going to have the lottery. Like, how do we participate in that?
Lottery.
And I guess that's what I'm asking
you
Visionary, because you're a user of the services.
I'm going to try
how
this.
do you...
I think merit-based is best, because the reason why is, even though you might argue with what happened in West Hollywood, they had more females, which we are totally underrepresented.
Oh, yes.
And based on them only giving out like 8 licenses in different categories, even the fact that Cherie Franklin, who's African American and female,
right, she made it through the cut.
But
I was saying,
that did level the playing field a bit, because across the board, women are underrepresented and African Americans are underrepresented.
That's right. What if we don't get the merit, though? That's why I'm thinking through part of our policy response is both. It's not either or. I think we ask and demand merit-based, and we also have a plan for what should lottery look like.
Well, this is the thing, Cheryl. The reason
because
that
no
they have given,
we're going to get it just because we asked for it.
But Cheryl,
like that.
The reason they gave us that they want to do a lottery is just because they feel like they don't want to work that hard. You know, merit-based is a lot of work. You've got to actually read. It's like the difference between having a quiz and having an essay.
So what? If they don't want to work that hard, that's why I'm just trying to discover how do we legislate that. I can't compel people to work hard. So if they
We can
choose
give
that
them
policy, we need to have some kind of response. That's all I'm trying to get to that
Right.
sweet spot.
Well,
So
we
let's
can.
just say they don't want to work that hard.
They
So
still
what?
need to work that hard because they still need to review those applications for
Then
the community
who
benefit
can tell
agreement.
them to work that hard? Who can compel them? Which entity
Well, we can give them ways to
can
do it.
compel them to do that?
We can give them ways to do. I mean, the city council can compel them to do it, but we can give them some suggestions on how to do it, like they did at West Hollywood. They actually had people outside of the city to vet. They put together groups of people to vet those applications for the for certain things, and that's what we need to do. I mean, what they are is they're concerned about manpower. They're concerned about how many people they have, and they don't want to.
They are. That's their number one excuse. Is
Yes.
the DCR? Their number one
Understand.
pushback is that they have a limited amount of bandwidth. That's what they cost. So okay, we get that.
So
And
we give them a
the
solution.
Next thing is, how do we give them the support they need to get more of this heavy lifting? And this is why government is only a tool for negotiating what we want. It's not the end-all, be-all. That's something we discovered. They are a tool. So if we want more, we have to participate in that process. That's what I'm pushing us for. What with that, I think that's a good follow-up.
Yes.
Dejanay, as a consumer, that's why I'm wanted to hear your voice today. As someone, like you said, you've been to all the social equity programs. Like if you're trying to get ready for the next phase, like what do you need from government and from people like us?
I mean, you just have to really know what your resources are. What is it that you need to be supported? For me, it took a lot of the pressure off once I found Green Believers, just to be very transparent. I had been going to meetings since 2017, and this is before they were at the City Hall room that they're at now. Before that, it was somewhere else downtown with really horrible parking. And I remember the first person I met there, and I won't name any names of organizations, but there were several people there. And I just didn't reach out to those people because they had their own agendas, their own goals, and they were very particular about what that looked like, or you had to pay a fee to be a part of the organization, or they weren't based in LA, they were coming from Oakland or every which where. And so it's really, really important to be a part of something and find resources where those people are accessible, they're local, they know the landscape of LA, they have a history here, they care about the people here, they care about the community here. They don't have to try and be a part of the community because they are the community. And so that is really, really, really important. If you're somebody who is looking to apply for social equity and you are reading the news and saying, oh, social equity is a joke. Okay, I know what these contracts are about, and I could read it in the LA Times or Newsweek or whatever, and it says that they're all trash. You have to vet for yourself. Don't trust people just because they look like you. You have to do your own vetting. And I have done quite a bit of vetting myself. And I'm happy to say I came through the fire, and I'm not jaded because of it. I think that there's a lot of promise in this social equity program. I think that there are still adjustments being made, but you just got to make that trip down on the Central. And if this is not the social equity organization for you, then I would just say you have to be boots on the ground and have a vision that is yours, that if it doesn't work out with one group, you can take it somewhere else or figure out how to bootstrap it yourself. But don't be reliant on people who do not have your best interests in mind, or it's them giving you an opportunity as opposed to you giving them an opportunity, because that is what it is. You are giving them the opportunity to work with you and to help you build something that's going to build generational wealth and be long lasting. And they can opt to be a part of that, or they can sit out. because at the end of the day, the social equity program does not run without social equity applicants. And I think that empowering social equity applicants is first and foremost. So you have to be in a position of empowerment and not going in it as someone's giving you a handout, because you will get burned that way.
That's the right way to say it. Because every day, these people out there assume that social equity is their golden ticket.
Right.
And then when they look at you guys, they say, you guys don't have no money. You don't have nothing.
You right.
They say you don't have the intelligence to run your own business.
You right. They will tell you to your face.
Yeah.
Investors don't want to give you their money.
That's correct. But here we are as black people who understand a little bit more, and we tell them, like, you guys don't know how to run a business because you've never been in South Central LA, and
Precisely.
you've never been in the drug business. So here it is that you're going to have an opportunity to come to South Central LA, and you think you're going to be able to run a business and don't get touched.
Right.
So here I am looking at the people in South Central LA saying, I'm from South Central.
Right.
And I know how to run a business. I've almost made this as my business, my personal life goal. But I'm trying to step away and give you guys an opportunity to come here, go in your store, and learn from some of the best. And when you walk away, you're going to walk out your door. It's not going to be a gun to your head because they already understand that you associated with the right people.
Right.
So we going to come full circle where a whole lot of other people is going to come down here and try to find them somebody to take care of them so they can take care of you guys' money.
No.
So each day when I sit back and I vision what's going to happen down here in South Central LA with all these different investors coming in, I'm more scared for them than for the people who they're using.
Yeah.
Well, I think a major advantage that we have, and that Cheryl really, I have to give her kudos for crafting that, is that we have the contract for technical assistance. So therefore, we can compete with them by giving them, world-class legal and accounting, all those services that the investors are coming in. And because the investors come in with it and they pay, he who has the cash makes the rules. So
Right.
whoever pays me is who I work for.
Right.
That's what they call attorneys hired guns. I'm working for whoever pays me, right? And whatever I'm doing is going to benefit them. Well, since I'm part of the Green Believers team and we are getting paid through the technical assistance program, so therefore we're providing this for you for free. And there's no conflicts of interest because
That's important.
so we're working for you. We're not working for ourselves. You know what I mean? So that's what the difference is. A lot of the other groups are trying to manipulate and control the social equity applicants because they know that you have the priority in licensing, and that's what they want is that license. But they don't want you to have the license. They want to control
They
the
want
license
you to
through
be
you.
the puppet. They want you to be the face of the brand, but not own the brand. And that's why I emphasize this again. You have to operate as a business. You have to say, I am the brand, and my brand goes wherever I go.
Correct.
Which is what I learned very early on, and I was like, okay, so there has to be something about Dejanay that stands apart from Dejanay, the social equity applicant. And had I just relied on only seeing this as the only way I could participate in the cannabis industry, then I probably wouldn't be sitting at this table. But I built something completely outside of this. I went and sought the knowledge completely outside of this. And so I'm able to come back to it and say, oh, I've learned so much, and this is how I can apply what I've learned both in the social equity conversation and outside of it. There have been so many rooms that I've gotten into with people that I know I had seen multiple times before. I know I'd met them, and they're like, oh my God, what is she doing here at this exclusive cannabis social house rolling joints? Who is this girl? Why is she everywhere? I want you to meet my marketing person. And it took them seeing me over and over and over in different rooms, in different scenarios, playing different roles for them to realize that I was here to stay. And you want to be that person. You want to say, hey, if this doesn't work out, I know how to pivot. That is important. Know how to pivot. And I'm so excited and happy that I get to participate on the technical assistance team and be a resource for education in cannabis, because if I hadn't gone down that route and only focused on social equity, I would be sitting at home.
Yeah, so you just got a whole lot of classes and you merge them all together to understand that you got an opportunity in different places. You can make your own CBD store. You good now. You already understand what to do. If you get lucky, you're gonna have a weed license, and when the people walk in, you're gonna say, I'm with a better team because they already put me in a position to succeed. So the only thing I think about as I look at everybody who come to the Green Believers is how you gonna play this game. Are you gonna play this game like you're supposed to, or are you gonna let somebody else dominate you? And if you're gonna let somebody dominate you, I'm gonna be mad at you because you've been around me long enough to know I can't be dominated. So how you gonna be dominated? If you have a question that you don't understand, and Cheryl can't answer it, if Sherelle can't answer it, if Rhonda can't answer it, somebody over there on the other side who always be hiding in the cut saying, nah, this you guys' job, can answer that question. Is there anything got to do with the streets? I'm going to answer that question for you guys. I'm going to tell you what's right from wrong. And I just want you guys to just put the best foot forward and attack the world, because all of us is you guys. Everybody want what you guys have, but it's up to you guys to reach forward and grab it and hold on to it and cradle it. And when you do all of these things, you're going to have a great business. And ain't nobody can stop you guys for real. And the people right now, they just don't understand, and they look at the world like, we need those people. Those people need you guys. I'm going to say this so you guys can understand. People in America, Walmart and all of them, need you guys to make this stuff work. So if Walmart need everybody, they need you to have you a weed store right here. And if you're going to give them 10% of your company, so be it. But don't you give them no 90%. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I'm not going to never like it. And I don't expect for you guys to make a mistake and give these people something that you guys own, that your family deserve you guys to have. Because we've been to the penitentiary for a long time, and we did a whole lot in these streets. And when we look at you guys having the opportunity to come in line and get a license, we want to see you guys succeed at this for real. We really do. Street dudes are sitting back saying, those squares is getting ready to make it happen. And we're just sitting back looking like, let those squares do it. And it's being served right now. It's on the table. And I need you guys to just sit up there and take it and hold on to it and don't relinquish it. And however this lottery go, if we get 10 licenses, if we get 12 licenses, just say you got them and you're going to build something in the community where you're going to take that money and put it in the community and build some more stuff. Because you don't have everything you want, there's a such thing as getting some of the things you want. And when you get it, make sure you guys do the right thing with it.
Mm-hmm. Group economics.
Well, we also have to get strategies so that we can create coalitions so that we have vertical and horizontal integration.
Every part of the supply chain is important. Ownership is important, and it has to start where you're growing and go all the way to when it gets on the shelf. And this is just the first. This is the beginning.
And there's also the ancillary, businesses. The marketing, the bookkeeping, the legal, the construction.
Branding.
Electricians, branding, social media marketing, packaging. You don't even have to have the product, just having the packaging, things like that.
Sustainable practices when it comes to packaging, too.
It's the whole part of the whole piece of. Everybody sit back and look at me and say, Whitey, why you don't want no license? I don't need license. I just need you guys to have them. And if you guys have them, I could find a way to fit in you guys' world. And when I fit in you guys' world, I'm going to give the necessary instructions, and I'm going to take the necessary instructions from you guys to do what's necessary. It's like you may need a commercial shot. Nobody don't know where they're coming from, but like Cheryl said, there's a whole lot of sneaky shit I be doing. So,
it's like security companies. You could have a security company. Just all these different things, and we're unbanked. We need to be in the financial markets. So there's just so many.
Oh, Rhonda, could I jump in on that one?
Sure.
That was one of the key things that I noticed in the COVID. people didn't have their records in order to take advantage of, like, $1 trillion passed through in like 35 days.
Yes.
And people were only able to get little kibbles and bits, because they didn't have their businesses capitalized correctly.
Yes.
Now, that's not something we can go into great detail on the podcast, but you've got to look out for our classes, because having your records in order, and knowing month to month, week to week, what systems to use to record all your activities, so at the end of the year or the end of a business quarter, you can actually get the highest financial gain.
Yes.
Because, see, math is the only thing that, you can't interpret math. Math is finite. So it's something that we can wrap our heads around. Because only 1 + 1 is only 2. There's no, let me tell you about my experience and where I come from. It means, no. All languages. So I think pointing out one of the key things that's going to be the foundation for our courses that actually begin next month is going to be this financial literacy. And then once you understand how money works today in 2020, in 2021, and how the business, what's profit, what's liability, all that, how you figure that out, what the assets are, then day to day we can show you how to have your records in order. And this is some stigma, and I haven't figured this out, where it comes from with black people as business owners. We don't want to publicly talk about, I don't have no records, I haven't filed no taxes, I don't have all the paperwork that I need. So even though we're giving them quality training and access, their stigma is getting in the way of it really working, because they're by the time they get to that trust sweet spot, we're 9 months in and they missed opportunities. So this is something I'm just putting out there, that we could have helped more people. We did workshops when COVID first came. Every single week, we were doing them twice a day even, because I had the SBA guys coming on saying, this is what you need to do. And we did over 100 people, and less than 5% of them really applied and got in there and fought for their piece of the pie. And I got at least 50% of them to call me in June to ask me, can I still do this? Because now I got my shit together. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me in March? I just need to get this, and this together. Then we could have focused on that and still got you in line before all the money go now. They didn't give you your toast, dude. Mm-hmm. They gave that money out so fast, but it was the lack of records. Just, it wasn't there.
Well, Cheryl, this time around, when we sit back and teach all these classes, we're going to teach an organization. And once we teach an organization, they're going to be able to understand that when something like this come around, their paperwork going to be in order. Sometimes it's like we as people.
Why are we so ashamed? What are we ashamed of? Do they know?
Hey,
do
Cheryl.
Black people not know how many white people don't have it either? How many Latino, how many Asian, how many Persians,
but Cheryl,
how many Russians?
But Cheryl, it's still going to come.
Do they not understand that?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
You asking a question, I'm going to give you a right answer. Street dudes sit down and they play with their money because we so used to playing with our cash, and we hide everything from everybody so nobody could ever get an opportunity to touch our money. So now here we are, we done grown up. And now we got to reorganize everything for business purposes. So when you walk in the room with us, Cheryl, and you say, oh, this right here was got to happen, everybody will open their eyes and see it. But in the last 20 years, we've been so scared of the police taking everything away from us that we never organized it like that. So here we are, it's a new world. And when you look at the world, it's just changed in front of everybody's eyes. Now Black America is sitting on a path where they can all be successful without being put in jail. So here we are, Cheryl. It's that time for us to step up and teach the people what they need to know.
It's time, because I want to make a public notice. I'm not sharing, okay? Because it'd be scary for those that missed the boat. Let it be written, let it be good for it, you better figure it out. Get with the program because we're going to have the hottest onboarding, giving you the tools. These are going to be the tools for collaboration and the tools for being the captain of your own ship. And it begins with the financial literacy.
Yes.
So it's different than having your subject expertise or whatever your skill, your artisan. It's different from that. So it's going to be both. It's not either or. It's both and. We must have the financial literacy, and then you can innovate. You can apply it any way you want to. That part's none of our business. But it's essential that you have that knowledge and a trusted team, which we happen to be, on how to have your records in order to compete. Everything is about your paperwork these days. So we need, you know how you got to be booed up? You need to be papered up, okay?
Well, and you have to do it right, Cheryl, because as a lawyer, I've got to put that criminal law hat on now and civil liability hat.
Yes.
If you don't have your paperwork straight, you can get it foul of the IRS, and there's so many different taxing authorities and regulating authorities for this business that can come in and do a no-knock audit. And once they come in, they're going to be wanting to take back money, put penalties on you. So just not having your paperwork together can cause you a lot of issues. And that'll be the next trap, because since they can't get people in jail for low-level drug offenses, now they're actually going more for the high-level white-collar crimes.
Yes.
And so they're actually giving people criminal liability, as we see what happened with the councilman that just got arrested. That was based on paperwork. That was based on some things that that he did, and we have to all just make sure that we keep it on the up and up and make sure that our paperwork is correct.
That's all to it. Like I said, Cheryl, it's like we
ain't in bed with the quality of leaders like we are. I don't even want to be in that class. We're not elected officials. I don't have that kind of juice. So any kind of deals that I'm cutting is completely separate from that. We're just ordinary citizens.
And
we want
people get in trouble.
They get knocked in the head too, baby. They get knocked in the head also. When they sit back and see you taking those steps.
We're citizens now. Hey, we ain't got no criminal conspiracies going on with the councilman. He was way out of order because he had a couple of more accountability marks than any of us as ordinary citizens have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I just think that's a different class of crime. What we're just talking about is, like I said, it's more stigma. It's a social barrier. It may be population, like Whitey said, if you come from a different era or all that, and I'm just trying to frame it so that people will feel more comfortable to that it's not something to be stigmatized. Don't feel uncomfortable. You won't lose your cool points because you lack maybe some of these documents or this process. It's good news that we can teach you, we can show you what to do. So that's what's going to be happening. And kudos to you guys. And then I have one final update, and then I'm going to stop because I know we're getting to the top of the time. You're listening to the Green Believers, right? And we got picked to participate in the Cannabis World Conference Expo. Again, this year will be our second year.
Yay.
September 2020, we got called back because we were that hot. And this year, we will have our breakfast event on site at the convention center. Yeah. So we're going to put on a show for their ass this year, 2020. We're going to have a show to demonstrate. I'm working on a Knock Their Socks Off exhibit for us to showcase a taste of Social Equity LA. Will be September 16th and 17th with the Cannabis World Congress, and Cannabis Means Business. It's going to be so awesome. All of you guys are invited. You'll all be there. We're going to have our own panel, and just hard work pays off, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sure. I got some
pays
other things
off.
I shared with you early part of the day. It's the Black Cannabis magazine getting ready to come out, and for some reason, they want me to come and interview with them. And I just started laughing, and I had to call you and tell you, like, Cheryl, you sure? And you start laughing, like, go for it. And the cannabis world is what we really deal in, because we trying to find all the brothers and sisters and the brown brothers and sisters to do what's right for themselves. And each day, we're going to continue to stress that everybody stand in line with us and let us help them reach the top. The Green Believers do a whole lot of things for a whole lot of people. And we just want to make sure that everybody in the city understands that when this COVID thing is over, call the Green Believers on Central and 33rd. And we got to get out of here because it's that time of the day. And my guest was been here, Rhonda Disley, and they is beautiful. And if you guys see them, just understand you guys can't play with them because that's part of my team. You guys have a nice day.
Bye-bye, everybody.